Yes, people. Hope you are doing well. Sorry about the delay, but we are here. We are here with you for another done deal show on the Football Terrace. We have some updates to go through with you and discussions to be had about the transfer window. Alexander Isak is due to return to Newcastle to return to first team training. What does that mean for Liverpool and the chances of getting him? They had a bid rejected earlier this week. And now he's looking like he's going to be back into the first team. Eddie Howe is probably going to welcome him back as a new player in the squad. What does that mean to Liverpool? Will they get it done? Manchester United's pursuit of Benjamin Sesko. You had Newcastle in the driving seat, reportedly by Slovenian reports and by reports of Sasha Tavieri. Reports now come out saying that no decision has been made, but Man United is still yet to move. The idea of Rasmus Hojulnd going to Red Bull Leipzig was something that was being touted, but it turns out that Rasmus has rejected the chance of signing for RB Leipzig. What does that mean for Manchester United, and will they get Sesko over the line? And Chelsea's chances of double Dutch is still on. They've just signed Joao Hato and agreed a deal for Ajax. Medical, I think, has apparently been done and sorted, but it's about Xavi Simmons. Is that going to go through for Chelsea? Are they going to complete the double Dutch signings? All of that coming and much, much more. This is the Done Deal Show. Let's go. Yes, people. How are you doing? Hope you guys are doing well. We're here for the Done Deal Show. We're here live right now at around 4:30 p.m. UK time. We're going to talk all things transfers and what's been going on in the last few hours, last couple of days. I'm here with you for the next hour or so. We will open up the lines for you guys if you guys have an opinion that you want to give out about your team and some transfers that are happening with you guys. Hope you all do well. Let us know where you're watching from. Remember to make sure to man like Cam, I'll see you there. I'll come to that in a moment. Make sure you subscribe to the Football Terrace. We're getting bigger and bigger each day. Listen, YouTube have been trying to screw us. Yeah, YouTube have been trying to screw us with the RPM right now, but we need your support right now. So go and subscribe to the Football Terrace. Make sure you like this video, get this video shared out to all the people who are not watching, and remember to make sure you have a good time. Go over to the Terry Fluids channel as well. Subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, guys. Let us get on to that. Right, we got some decent stories to be talking to you about today. Obviously, the biggest one being Benjamin Sesko and Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak going back to training is massive for Newcastle. They will probably start to believe that there is still a chance of keeping him. But if their pursuit for Benjamin Sesko goes through, what does that mean for Liverpool and Isak? Many Liverpool fans were getting excited last night because of the reports of Sesko apparently choosing Newcastle as his new destination. That came in like the middle of the night. And listen, Canadian Cam is trolling me here, which is fair enough. Because I did say in the group chat, I saw the Slovenian reports. I saw Sasha Tavieri report as well, and then I thought, crap, it's done. Because I genuinely did believe that we will get the what do you call it now? The storm, the avalanche of reports coming to the timeline and saying that Benjamin Sesko has now chosen Newcastle over Man United, and I was worried about that. So I was like, yeah, you know what? It was late, and I thought, yeah, it's over, it's done. But come the morning, and a bit of investigation from myself as well, that is not seen to be the case, and so my fears of it being over has now been dissipated. So I'm good for now. I am more in the camp of 50-50. I think there's a 50-50% chance that Sesko joins Man United or goes to Newcastle. But this story got people excited, got Liverpool fans excited, because they believe that once Sesko is through the door for Newcastle, then that will open the door for them to get Isak. And obviously they've had a 110 million bid rejected by Newcastle. And now they're saying that they're no longer going to be bidding. It's a really interesting one because Benjamin Jacobs I keep calling him Benjamin. I don't know why. But Ben Jacobs has been saying that they are no longer going to be bidding. They're not preparing a new bid. They're not going to be submitting a new bid anytime soon. But apparently they haven't walked away. So they've put a new bid in, it got rejected. They're not going to put another bid in, but they've not walked away from the deal. Right now, it's more on the lines of, if Newcastle are shown to be more receptive to a bid, that's when they might put a new bid in. That's what is going on. That is what is being said by Ben. And then the reports of Isak coming back to training now has got people a bit agitated. You got David Ornstein reporting. Let me just read it verbatim for you guys. Let me read it verbatim from David Ornstein earlier today. He said Isak coming back to the UK and resume training at Newcastle. Newcastle squad returning from Asia preseason tour missed by the 25-year-old striker. Liverpool saw offer for the Sweden international rejected, but interest ongoing. So what does that mean? I think many fans are not worried. I think a lot of Newcastle fans, and Liverpool fans aren't worried about him coming back to training. But there's a few that I've seen that are stressed, that maybe are worried about them not getting him. I've got Sam in the group chat saying, I hope that here we go for Sesko comes soon so that they can get Isak, because he wants Isak. Is there a world where it doesn't matter what Newcastle do, Isak leaves? Is there a world where Newcastle don't sign a new striker and Isak still leaves? I think there is. Because how hard would it be for Isak to come back into the squad and be playing regularly without his form dipping with disappointment? Now, it's not like it's an alien thing, right? Like, players have been wanting to leave, don't get their move, and still perform well. It is doable. It is possible. It has happened. But to the level that Isak has begun, he went AWOL from training. He refused to go on the Asian tour or the Asia tour. He decided to train in Spain with his old club, Real Sociedad. So he's been doing his utmost best to get this move through, and it's not materialized yet. So for Isak, are you in a headspace where you can actually play for Newcastle again? And if you do play, are you in a position where you can play to the optimal levels? That is the question. Listen, I'm just going off what I've seen, Jonas. I've seen some Liverpool fans. They are when I say very worried or they're worried, it's not like they're screaming and panicking and like, oh, it's over. Like, oh, like we can't get Isak. Just throw everything in the bin. But they still are hoping for Newcastle to sign a new striker. If you weren't worried, you wouldn't care what Newcastle do. You wouldn't care if Newcastle get Isak. No, sorry, Newcastle get Sesko or not. You just be like, we're gonna get him. But they're praying on their knees so that this thing goes through. So clearly there's a slight worry in there. I've been told to look at Craig Hope. Here we go. So, interesting. So we've got Craig Hope here, who has just tweeted 2 minutes ago. Liverpool have not walked away from the deal for Alexander Isak, which pretty much Ben Jacobs has already said. But he said second offer will be submitted if Newcastle make progress on signing a replacement. Confidence on Wissa and hope on Sesko as Newcastle United and Liverpool wait. Okay. So Craig Hope coming out essentially saying something similar to Ben Jacobs, where he said like nothing's going to happen until this striker situation for Newcastle is semi-resolved. The fact that he says confidence on Wissa means that they will go. I think they'll get Wissa over the line. It's gone kind of quiet over there, but Wissa is pushing. It's ironic because some Newcastle fans are condemning Isak and Liverpool for what they're doing, but yet you got some praising Wissa for what he's doing to get the transfer done for them. So it's kind of funny in that way. But I think Wissa gets done. I think Wissa gets done. Like Newcastle in this position now where it's like they're semi-forced to make something happen. They can no longer rest on their laurels. They can no longer wait around. They have to make some moves because the season starts in 2 weeks. The season's creeping up on us really, 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 really quickly. And they can't go in the season with just Osula up top. Osula looks like a talented player. I like the look of him from what I've seen of him in like when he gets games and what from preseason. But they can't go in with just him. They've lost Wilson and Isak. We don't even know if he's going to be there or not. We don't even know if he's going to be in the mindset to be playing for Newcastle at the top level. So they do need to do something. James here says maybe Sesko is a smokescreen for Wissa. I don't think it's a smokescreen. I don't think it's a smokescreen. I think it's that they want both because they need both, right? Especially if Isak does leave, they're gonna need a replacement for him too. They need a replacement for Cannon Wilson. So I think Wissa was always going to be on the cards regardless of Sesko or not. So I don't think it's a smokescreen. James, but it could. But hey, it's a fair theory. It's a fair theory. It's a fair theory indeed. We got Machiavelli here with a comment about it. He goes, "Per Fabrizio Romano, Sesko still hasn't made a decision yet. Newcastle bid isn't that." Oh, interesting. Newcastle bid isn't that important. Told Leipzig last week they'd pay what Leipzig want. United in direct contact with Leipzig. So I think from that little section from Fabrizio Romano, he's basically just essentially saying it's all down to the player. He's essentially saying that it's all down to the player because if the bid's not important, that means that I assume that if Sesko says yes to Newcastle, Leipzig will just accept because it's close to what Leipzig have been asking for, right? They went straight with the asking price. So if they accept, if Sesko says yes, I'm pretty sure he'll be a Newcastle player. They'll be done very quickly, and then we'll see the door open for Isak. Definitely, I think that would be the cards. But we see what Man United do. We'll get more into Man United in a moment. We're just going to stick on to Liverpool. In at this moment in time, yeah, you just got Fabrizio now tweeting as well. Liverpool never left talks for Alexander Isak, planning to insist again, but it depends on Newcastle's decision. So it's almost like a game of chicken here between Newcastle and Liverpool. Liverpool are just going to be lurking. They're just going to be staying there. They're just going to be standing their ground. This really is coming down to whether Newcastle can get Benjamin Sesko or whether Newcastle can get a striker of that kind of quality here through the door. Hey, it's getting very techie very quickly. I get what Liverpool are doing. They're trying to make sure that they don't go too far with the bids, you know, because if they did, okay, cool, here's 120, they say no. He's 130, they say no. It would easily get up to the 150 mark, which has been touted around. And again, Is he worth 150? Probably not. You know, he's probably not worth 150 million pounds. But so you don't want to be paying that price. So Newcastle, I mean Liverpool, they're doing what they can. But it's interesting because if they did just say, you know what, yeah, he's 125, take it or leave it, I wonder how that would go. I wonder if that would force Newcastle's hand, because if you're Newcastle, you could take that 125 and then blow Man United out of the water completely with pay packet and the package for RB Leipzig. You could do that. Liverpool, I think Liverpool made 110 bid just to get rejected by Newcastle and let them buy the striker in, for a reasonable price. Once they have the striker, Liverpool will offer 120 plus 10. I think that's a sensible idea. I think that's a sensible theory. Again, if they went with the 120 plus 10 straight away, that is getting rejected. And then by the time they get a new striker, and they might ask for the 130, they might ask for the 150. I understand it. I understand what Liverpool are doing. I'm just one of those guys. I say, hey, what happens if they just said, boom, there you go? I think it'll be very hard to turn down, especially with Isak already kicking up a fuss. Imagine if they turn down something that was actually close to what they wanted for him. It'll be absolutely crazy. There's another story about Liverpool, though, that I want to bring up, which maybe relates to Isak. Maybe it might change Liverpool's mind on their stance of waiting around for the price to technically be accepted. Because where is it now? I've seen it here. I've seen it in the comments and I've seen it online before. Because I'll just read it out. Essentially, what is happening is this, right? What is happening is this. AC Milan have now made Darwin Núñez their first choice option as a new striker for their team. And they're going to go for him. And this is coming from Damartio, yeah? Damartio. He's saying that AC Milan are going real hard for Darwin Núñez. Now, if they get the Darwin Núñez deal done before Newcastle sort out a new striker, is there a realm of possibility that Liverpool up the bid straight away? And it's go, boom, here you go, because we've got the P's now. It's possible. I don't think Liverpool will do that. But it's interesting to see that Núñez still hasn't left yet. And when that does happen, what happens then? What does that change the dynamic of the whole situation? Because there'll be more money for Liverpool to use. AC Milan, Inter, and Juve all built clubs. Yeah, when that news came out, Tom Little was not happy in the group chat. He was not happy at all. He was very upset because he doesn't believe AC Milan will offer the amount of money needed to sign Núñez in the first place. Yes, Danny of the Reds, we have read the Craig Hope tweet. Unless there's a new one, we have already went through the Craig Hope tweet about Isak and Newcastle wanting a new striker. Yeah, I don't see anything new as of yet. I must say, Craig Hope's had a good summer for Newcastle in terms of getting things correct. I'll give him that. Yeah, and then there's another report from Sam C echoing Fabrizio Romano saying Benjamin Sesko's camp have confirmed they have not made a decision on his future. The decision, however, is expected soon. So I reckon, let's get into this then. Let's get into this in terms of Man United and Sesko. Let's get into this. Before we do though, I'm just checking anything. We've got a chat here that says, KJ, what stops PSG from bidding for Isak? I would take him in a heartbeat. I'm a huge fan of Isak, wonderful player. So then, the thing that stops PSG from bidding for Isak is your club just thinking that your attack is fine. I don't think PSG will. You've got your forward line, which is one of the best in the world. Adding Isak to that would obviously take it to another level again, and therefore cement you guys as probably the best team in the world. But I don't think your board are really worried about Isak and not being able to get him. Yeah, I can't see PSG coming in for him. They're focused on like players like Zabani. Hopefully I said that right. But the defender from Bournemouth, that's really their focus right now. Because they want to show up that defense a bit. Because Marquinhos is getting old. Did you lose a defender? I think you sold a defender, maybe, if I can remember. But yeah, like I think that's where you guys are gonna be focusing on. Yeah, that is what I think. Thank you for that. Okay, any comments before we move on to Man United? And wasn't Nunes going to Saudi? Saudi is still there. Saudi is still there. And they could still come in for him. They're still coming in for him. So they're not out the blue. They're not out of the woods yet with Saudi. So we'll see. But AC Milan is probably a team that Nunes would probably join over a Saudi club. Obviously, prestige. AC Milan's a big club, playing in a better league. Trying to get them back to the top it might be enticing for him. Ray here says there's a Craig Cope video in his car. He looks a bit sad and talks about how he feels like the fans have been trapped in a game with. He wasn't. He said he wasn't Craig Cope. It was Keith. Hey, listen. Yeah, for Newcastle fans, I do feel it. It's not a nice feeling to have, seeing one of your best players just like protesting and trying to get out, and you don't even know if you're going to get your next target because you've been getting outpriced or you're getting beaten by other clubs for your targets. Like, yeah, it's not great for Newcastle fans. But hey, the way that some of them talk, I have no real sympathy for some of them. That is for a fact. That is for a fact. Here we go. So let's get into this. Manchester United and Sesko. So we know that Man United have made Sesko a priority and we're going head to head with Newcastle for him. The thing is, there's been a lot of talk of RB Leipzig wanting Hojulnd and Man United potentially using him in the deal, whether that's a loan deal or a permanent deal that's separate to the Sesko deal, so everything balances out. That has been talented. But today, the likes of Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs and other sources have been reporting that RB Leipzig are interested in Rasmus Hojulnd for Man United as Benjamin Sesko's replacement. However, the Danish striker wants to stay at the club. So Rasmus Hojulnd wants to stay at Manchester United and fight for his place. And this is a potential hold-up in the Sesko deal for Manchester United, especially if we're trying to not spend so much money on buying Sesko. Now, you see, as a Man United fan, seeing Hojulnd say this and do this, and that's what he wants to do, I'm not mad. Okay? I am not mad. The reason why I'm not mad is because for years, as a fan base, we have been dying and shouting and begging and wishing for players who just want to fight for the Man United badge. We just want players who want to work hard, they want to be focused, they want to have the players with the mentality to play for Manchester United. They want players who really want to just die for the shirt. So Rasmus is a Man United fan. And if he's willing to work hard, if he's willing to become a useful player for Man United, if he wants to fight for his place and work for the badge, I can't be mad. I cannot be mad at Rasmus for that. As much as I would want him gone, as much as I think he needs a loan at least, or a move away from Man United to re-find himself as a footballer, re-find his confidence, maybe develop a bit more, go somewhere without any pressure so you can work on his game, I think that would be the best move for Rasmus. But if he is willing to fight for his place because he just loves Man United, I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that at all. Because that's what I've been wanting. I've been wanting players who want to do that for Man United. So I can't be upset with Rasmus as the player. In terms of Man United and their situation in this deal, look, if if Rasmus not going to leave United and he's happy being a second choice striker who's fighting for his place, then we need to find a way to convince Sesko to want us and only us. That is the only way we could potentially get a deal that will suit Man United in terms of finances and structure and all of that. Because we're not flush for cash. Even though I know the reports are saying, like the likes of Simon Stone has come out and said that Man United could sign Sesko without the need of selling players, that PSR will not be an issue for Man United if we sign Sesko this summer. Then I know we can get the deal done. But we still want to be sensible. We still want to be able to show the footballing world that we're not here to just be taken for rides like we used to. So we have to be sensible with how we go about this deal. The only way we can be sensible and get a deal that suits us more is if Sesko is convinced that this is the place for him and he only wants this place. So then we can take our time. Obviously not too much time. I don't want him to take until the end of the window for it, but we can take our time with getting a deal that suits us. Scott here says that's Ravel's job. He was at Red Bull before United. And yes, it is. It is. It is Ravel's job to convince Sesko. It is his job to use his contacts at Red Bull to help convince the player and help convince Red Bull Leipzig that actually we're the ones that you want to sell to and we will give a decent deal for you guys as well. That is his job. So I hope he can do his job. I really do hope he can do his job. But I don't think Man United, I don't think Rasmus not wanting to join Red Bull Leipzig, I don't think that ruins the deal. I think it was just it was an option to get a deal done and probably the best option to get a deal at the price that we wanted. But it's not the be all and end all of the deal. I think Man United probably will go into this willing to pay a certain amount of money. So we just got to see. We just got to see. Yes, thank you, Ramen, for letting the people know to like the video. Guys, smash the like button, people. We're here live on the Football Terrace. We're going through some transfer news. You know what it is. Smash the like button right now. Subscribe to the Football Terrace and make sure we get the views up because we need it. YouTube are being pagans right now. So we need your support. We need your support. So hopefully you can do that for us today. I was going to look for your comments to see what people are saying. Same energy for Onana. Yeah, I'm not mad at Onana if he wants to stay and fight for his place. Like, I'm not mad. I'd rather him go, but I'm not begrudging the player for wanting to stay. I just want him to leave. So yeah. And this is the thing. There's two different things. There's two different scenarios that I react differently to, right? So this idea of players staying, you can react to it in two different ways. You can be upset or you can be happy, right? And if I believe a player is staying because he genuinely wants to stay and fight for the badge, that's when I don't get mad or annoyed. I just accept the fact that, hey, listen, the player is doing something that I want him to do, which is try and earn his spot. I can't be mad at that, even though I want the player gone. So there's that scenario. Or there's a scenario, which we've seen many, many, many times at Man United over the last 10, 12 years, is that players are only staying because they believe they cannot work hard and just get paid. That's when I get annoyed. So the likes of Jadon Sancho, right? If he was saying that I'm not going to leave Man United, I would be annoyed because I don't believe it because he wants to play for the club or work hard in training or fight for the badge and fight for his place. It wouldn't be for that. I believe it solely would be for, well, I'm on 300k a week, 250k a week. I'm not going to get there anywhere else. I'm just going to stay. I'm just going to ride it out. And the problem is that is a possibility for Man United this summer. That is a possibility. Sancho might stay. And that will frustrate me because I know it's the player staying for money. And I know when people say they have the obligation and their human right to see out their contract, listen, that's fine. That is fine. That is a fair point. That's fine. But footballing wise, it annoys me as a Man United fan, because like, bro, you're supposed to be this big talent. You're supposed to be this player that teams want, and yet you're just sitting around doing this. I don't know. That just personally doesn't sit right with me, especially with someone like Sancho, who I believe is extremely talented. He hasn't worked out for Man United for many reasons, and for the best for his career, it's best for him to go. But say if he chose to sit on the money, I don't think that wouldn't sit right with me personally. Would I take Stefan Ortega as a backup for Andre Onana? I would take Stefan Ortega as the number one before Onana. You know what I'm saying? I would take him for competition from Andre Onana. I would. I don't think Onana's staying past the season. Me personally, I don't. I think if things go a certain way, he will get dropped and he will play less games, and therefore I think he will want to leave next summer. And I think the club would be more willing to push him out the door, because this year you've heard reports saying we're not trying to sell Onana. And I think that's just mainly because we don't have the capacity to try and push him out the door along with the other players that we have, and also sign a top-notch number one goalkeeper. I think the club are trying to be smart in managing how they let players leave, right? And squad building. So I get this season for not pushing them out the door, but next season we need to be more forceful and be like, listen, mate, like, yeah, you're just not going to play. That's what we need to do. Yes. Sorry, so I had a message come up. So that just distracted me for a little second there. Just want to see what's going on the timeline. Nothing new as per. So we want to get into the Xavi stuff in 1 second. We have super chat here from Ronin. He says Sesko is no sure thing. Rasmus is hungry. Listen, I know Sesko is not a sure thing, and I'm not here to say that he is. I'm never going to sit here and say Sesko is 100% going to bang for Man United. There is still a good chance that I'll say right now it's 50-50 that he succeeds or fails at Man United. That's just the way it is for our club right now. So I'm not saying it's a sure thing, but he is better than Rasmus Hojulnd. And even a hungry Rasmus Hojulnd, I don't believe he's better than Sesko. So that's why I'd rather Sesko come in and Rasmus either sit on the bench or leave, because I don't believe he is as good as Sesko. Even as hungry as he is, and I respect him for being hungry, I don't think he's there yet. I do not think he's there yet. Oh, man like Sam. Man's in the chat. Yep, man is running a show. I've been doing this, by the way. I've been running shows over the last few weeks over the summer. I've been doing that. The comments know about the Give KJ a Raise gang. They're in there somewhere, but they know about that for sure. Right, let's get into some Chelsea chat, shall we? Let's get into some Chelsea chat. Because Xavi Simmons to Chelsea is getting closer. Fresh talks are to be scheduled to finalize the deal. He's also been left out. Sorry, there's a Sesko tweet by Fabrizio, but it's nothing major, nothing new from what we already know. But yeah, Xavi has also been left out of their preseason game. Same with Sesko. Sesko is not in the preseason squad, match day squad for Leipzig's next game, and neither is Xavi Simmons. So this deal is getting closer to being done. And you know what, Chelsea? Fair play. Fair play to you. If Chelsea gets Xavi Simmons, I'm not going to be one of those salty fans saying, where's he going to play? How's it going to work? They've got too much, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to say fair play. Because they're trying to build a squad that can compete in the league and in the Champions League. They need to have quality players to do that. And yes, they've got a load of younger players. And yes, they have and yes, they have lots of players who are attackers, but the way that they're trying to sell, the way that they're trying to balance the squad, it can work. You can have Pedro and Jackson, to be fair, and Delap as the strikers. You can have Cole Palmer and Pedro and Xavi as the number 10s. You've got Neto and Esteval. I don't even know when he's going to be announced actually, but when he comes in, he could be out there on the right hand side. If not, Palmer and Neto out on the right hand side. Left hand side, you could have Gittins and Xavi. Hey, you could get Xavi, Gittins, and Garnacho if that goes through as well. But no, they can find a way to balance it, and that's what their job is as well. That is the job of this of Chelsea sporting directors. Like he needs to make sure that they can have a balanced squad, and I think they will. I think they will do that. They've got enough games to appease most people. And if Maresca doesn't rotate the squad and Maresca doesn't use the players that he's been bought for him, then yes, I think there'll be an issue. But for now, I think Chelsea will be okay. I think Chelsea will be okay. And you've got to remember, Xavi Simmons is crazy talented. We saw what he's been doing for Leipzig. We saw him at PSV. We saw him what he does for the Netherlands. Like he's a top player. And Chelsea adding that to their squad is frustrating. It is frustrating. But hey, they're doing what they can to try and win the league. They're doing what they can to try and win the Champions League. And no Chelsea fan can sit here and tell me that they're not trying to win the league. People like David will say, oh, no, you can't put the pressure of us of us challenging because the owners aren't trying to win the league this year. They just want to get solidified in the top 4, and then next year we'll challenge. Well, signing Xavi Simmons, signing the likes of Garnacho, signing João Pedro, Delap, signing João Hotto does not show me that they're not trying to win the league. Listen, if you think that is an ownership not trying to win the league, then I don't know. We play too much Football Manager. Because that is crazy. They are trying to win the league. They have to be trying to win the league. You can't be doing all of this not to try and win the league. They can challenge. They can challenge for the league because they're good. They're a very good team. And if they challenge and they fall off, that's fine. Like, it's bound to happen. It happens sometimes. You try and go for the league and it doesn't work out for whatever reasons. Injuries. Maybe the manager makes mistakes and therefore they replace the manager. It's possible. I'm not going to condemn Chelsea for not winning the league, but they have to challenge. Twisted Baba here says, KJ, are Chelsea the new blueprint on recruitment? There could be. Now, here's the thing with Chelsea and the way they've done things, right? It looks nice on paper. It looks brilliant on paper. It looks good on the balance sheets because they are good at selling, right? They're brilliant at selling and they're good at getting top talent through the door. So on paper, it looks great. What we haven't seen, though, is that convert into major trophies like the Champions League or the Premier League. Now, I know the Club World Cup. I know. And I do think that is a good trophy to win. I don't think it's a preseason trophy. I don't think it's a glorified friendly tournament. I don't think none of that. I believe the Club World Cup is a good trophy to win. But that is not the bread and butter of being an elite club. The bread and butter of being the elite club is your domestic league and the Champions League. And what we need to see from Chelsea is them winning the Champions League and the Premier League to then fully say that this way of recruiting, this way of building a squad is the new way of doing things. Until that point, I will say what Chelsea's doing is good. It's an exciting project. It's an exciting way of doing things. It's the closest thing we'll ever see to Football Manager in real life. I'm here for that. But it's not the blueprint. It is not the best way. Because for me, for it to be the best way, is for them to win in the Champions League and the Premier League, which I do believe could be happening in the next 3 to 4. So in the next 3 years, I can see Chelsea doing that. But until that point, I can't say it's the best way. Because technically, for all that spending, for all the new signings and for all the selling and all of it, Liverpool's way of doing things has worked more. It's worked better. Because they've won more trophies and they've won the league. But no one's sitting here saying is Liverpool's model the best way to do it, because no one wants to hear the fact that a summer could happen for their club where they don't sign anybody, or they sign one player and it's a 12 million signing and he never plays. No one wants that. So no one talks about Liverpool's way of doing things. Clearlake's aim was to have 2 starting quality players in every position. We're almost there. Yes, they are. You're almost there. You're almost there. And if that was Clearlake's aim to have 2 starting quality players in every position, that means they're trying to win the league. That means they're trying to win the league. I'm not having it from Chelsea fans saying that Clearlake are not trying to win the league this year, because they are. The moves that they've been making for the last how many years shows that they're trying to win the league. All pressure on Chelsea. Everyone, this is the thing. Okay, so we've been talking recently about the pressure on Arsenal and the pressure on Chelsea and the pressure on Liverpool. Like, all clubs have pressure. Like, all clubs have pressure. The pressure might be different. It might be there for different reasons, but all clubs have pressure. Like, Man United have pressure on this season. It may not be to win the league, but we have the pressure of being better than 15th, you know? And if we're not that, then there's going to be serious inquests into the manager, into the players, into the club. But that's the pressure we have to hold. I've seen Arsenal fans say, oh, but we're not the favorite, we're not the best squad in the league, so how can we have the pressure of winning the league? Because you need to win the league. It's been 3 years in a row of second place. You need to win the league. You know? That is the pressure. Chelsea should have pressure to win the league. Not as much. You probably wouldn't go in on them as much as an Arsenal for not winning the league. But the way that they're spending, they need to challenge for the league. They need to try and go for the league. Everyone's got pressure in different ways, you know? Everyone's got pressure in different ways. What is like? Our project, no, it's top 10. Hey, listen, if we sign Sesko and we sign a goalkeeper and we sign a midfielder, the pressure won't be top 10. The pressure will be top 5. It will be trying to break into the Champions League, because we have made moves that should take us to those steps. Now, again, do you have to condemn every team with pressure who doesn't succeed at their maximum goal? No. You can analyze, you can add context, you can go through the season and be like, right, how far do we criticize them? But to say there's not pressure on teams to achieve certain things, I think is disingenuous to the sport that we play. It is disingenuous to the sport that we play. If Man U get a top 8, amazing season. Hey, listen, right now, yeah. But if we get Sesko and we get more players, we have to start pushing up the table. That is for sure. The way that they're spending, they should have won the league 2 years ago. Shameful. Now, okay, so here's where I will defend Chelsea a little bit. Yes, they've spent a lot, and they spent numbers that we probably didn't think we would see in the last how many years of football spent so quickly in a club. But they were also spending on different things like younger players to develop and sell. So they're also doing investments for the long term in the club. It's not like they just spent 1 billion on first team players who should be winning the league, you know? So I'll give them some grace in that their plan was to also, buy for the first team, but also try and buy for the younger players, for the academy, for development players that you put out on loan and sell on and make a profit. I will give them a grace in that. But that grace is only extending so far because now you can't keep doing that and get away with it. You have to be challenging at some point. What we got here? Rahman says, KJ, I've never been scared like this before. Liverpool are getting Isak, Arsenal are going for Eze, Chelsea going for Simmons. My club sit here and not signing top class right back. We are finished. Okay, so Man City again. They're going on the radar. They have pressure. Yeah, they have pressure. They also need to be challenging. They had a dreadful season for their standards last year. No trophies. Losing an FA Cup final to Crystal Palace, who have never won a trophy in their entire life, right? They went in January, spent money in January. You got Marmoush, you got Nico Gonzalez. Is it Nico? No, it's not Nico Gonzalez. No, it's Nico. Yeah, Nico Gonzalez. You got in Victor Reis. You got in Kuzanov. And you still didn't kick on from there to go and win anything. So you spent money in January. You spent money in the summer already on the likes of Reinders, on the likes of Cherky, you know? You got Trafford through the door now. So you got 8 Nori. There is pressure on Man City to compete and go for the league. But the reason why I don't think you should be scared is because Rahman yourself, you probably think this, and many, many, many Man City fans have been telling me this, that Man City have the best manager of all time at the helm. We cannot be now counting Pep Guardiola in any of this just because teams are making signings. You can't discount Pep. You can't discount Pep. Because he might be brewing something in his brain, that bold head of his. He's doing calculations right now as we speak to try and improve this team to make them win the league. There is pressure on Chelsea. There is pressure on Man City to win the league. It's not all about one club having all the pressure to win. Multiple teams have pressure. Multiple teams need to win the league. How we criticize them, that is down for the end of the season when you've analyzed the entire season, added context. Was there injuries? Was there decisions that go against them? Was there suspensions? But these teams have pressures to win the league. And I don't care. I'll happily say that. I don't care what fans think. I'll happily say that. Kane, man like Kane has come in. He's just here. He just got here. What did he miss? Well, what you missed is that Alexander Isak is coming back to Newcastle for first team training. Will that impact the deal for Newcastle, for Liverpool? Benjamin Sesko is on the lips of Newcastle and Man United. Man United were hoping to use Rasmus Hojulnd as a way to get the deal done, but Rasmus Hojulnd does not want to leave Manchester United for RB Leipzig. Will that be an issue for Manchester United? And also, Xavi Simmons is getting closer to joining Chelsea as he's not playing in a preseason game for Leipzig. As with Benjamin Sesko, they're both looking to leave, and Chelsea are looking to get the Xavi Simmons deal done soon. Daily here says, KJ, would you agree it's harder to win the league more now than in the early noughties? I'm gonna say it's not harder. It's not harder to win now. I think they're getting to a point where they're the same level. And I say this because I think the league has gotten better. I think the league has gotten better as a whole. So your mid-table teams are better than the mid-table teams in the noughties. I think they are the relegation teams are better than some of the teams back in the noughties. So I think the league's going better. But the top teams, I think in the early noughties, I think when you had the top teams, like actual top 4, I think those guys were top level. I think those guys were top level. So trying to beat the top 4, trying to beat each other to the league was harder than the top 4 in the recent times trying to win the league. If you guys can understand what I'm saying. Nah, mate, I bottled it. But that's my opinion. I give you my reasoning. It's not. That's my reasoning. But okay, Thomas, do you want me to give an answer? Do you want me to give something? Okay, cool. It was harder to win the title in the 90s and in the noughties than it was now. Are you happy? Are you happy now? You can't even give an explanation nowadays. It's like, no, it's black or white. It's yes or no. It is feast or famine. You know what I'm saying? What we got here now? We got some super chats here. Super chat here coming through. It says, if Liverpool fans are on our knees praying, what position are rivals in, hoping this deal does not go through? Oh no, the rivals are hoping. Rivals are not on their knees praying. They are doing weekly fasts. They are no longer eating, trying to make sure that this deal doesn't go through. Don't worry about that. Okay? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. The rivals are moving differently to make sure that this deal doesn't go through for Liverpool. But I've seen Liverpool fans, they're just hoping and praying that this deal goes through. What we got here, we've also got we're trying to win everything. 2 trophies last year. The youngest, I'm guessing that's squad in the league, and adding it's up from here. We invest, not spend. Thank you, Ronan. Thank you for showing chest. David needs to take a lesson from you, because your team, they are trying to win everything. That is the aim of of Chelsea Football Club on the Clear Lake. There's one more super chat here. Yes, KJ, who finishes higher, Arsenal or City? Right now, I'm going to say Arsenal. Right now, I'll say Arsenal. I think the addition of Gyökeres is massive for them. I think Zubimendi is a great addition for their midfield. Madueke is a decent backup for Saka and a rotation option. But I think they will get Eze or a left winger. And I think that will help them out a lot. So right now, I'd say Arsenal. But that's not to say that City can't pull something out of the bag. I'm literally just saying that Pep Guardiola can find something, can find a way to make his team win. That's always going to be the case. So I'm not discounting City, saying there's no way they finish above they finish with Man City. But right now, I'd say for Arsenal, for what they've done in the transfer window so far. What we got here? Also, Liverpool doesn't need Isak. They just signed one of the best young strikers in the world. They need him just as much as anyone else would need a player as good as Isak. Yeah, Liverpool don't need Isak. It's more of a want. It's more of a desire to get Isak. And if they do it, they would have one of the best windows I've ever seen from a reigning champion. KJ, why people disrespect the French league and they call us farmers and we're destroying us clubs last season in the Champions League. Suddenly we lost to Chelsea in the Club World Cup final. So the reason why people disrespect the French league, and I actually like the French league. I think it's a great breeding ground for talent. I think it's one of the most physically demanding leagues in the world. And if you are going to shop for physical specimens for the Premier League, I think the French league is the best place to do that. I really like some of the talent that you guys got in the French league. So I personally don't disrespect the French league as a whole. But the reason why people say that is because your club PSG have got such a monopoly on the league that it's not seen as competitive. Like when you guys only lose the league like once in like 5 years. Like every 5 years, you might get someone pop up and beat you guys to the league. Like Leo did it, and who else did it recently? Was it only just Lyon? I feel like there's someone else who's also beat PSG to the league recently, but I forgot who. But yeah, I know Lille. But that's what I mean. Like, we just expect you to win the league. No one's touching you. Financially, no one's touching you. And when you say we destroy English clubs in last season, no, PSG beat and destroyed English clubs in the Champions League last season. I don't know what were the rest of the French teams doing to English teams. I didn't see much in the Europa League. Lyon obviously took us all the way to the end, but they still didn't beat this poor Manchester United team. So that is why people have an issue with the French league, is because all it is in their eyes is PSG. Even though I know there are some good teams in there. It was Monaco. That was it. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Monaco. In recent times, Monaco did it. Lille win it. Montpellier, yeah. But I think the Montpellier one with Giroud was before PSG got money, right? I swear that was, or they just got the money come in. So I don't really count the Montpellier one with Giroud, unless someone can correct me about that. But yeah, definitely Lille and Monaco are the two ones that of recent times that have won the league when PSG have had money. For sure. What else have we got here? I'm going to take a quick check on Twitter to see if anything's been said. Nothing major so far. I'm pretty sure you guys in the chat would say something as well. Something big came out. Let's see what we're saying here, people. ESPN Brazil are reporting that Liverpool have held informal talks with Rodrigo, and he has agreed personal terms with Liverpool. Now agreement is needed with Real Madrid, who are looking for 9 million euros. If I've said this before, if Liverpool do Rodrigo and they do Isak in one window, one hell of a window that will be. I don't see it right now. Maybe they're doing it just in case Isak doesn't go through. So that's how Hojulnd talk to Rodrigo, making sure he'll be willing to join. So if Isak doesn't go through, they can just go and sweep him up instead. But yeah, I'm not surprised that there'll be some links to Liverpool and Rodrigo, because that would be a brilliant match for them, indeed. Right, guys, what was that? An hour? I said I was going to open the lines. I'll put the link in. We can do a quick, cheeky call in. See if anyone wants to do so. The link is in the description. I'll do that again for you guys. Also, by the way, people, I will do the timestamps. I will be doing the timestamps later today as well. So there will be timestamps on this video. Don't worry about that. Let me see if people call in. I'll give it like 5 minutes. Oh, we have a caller. We do have a caller coming in. Guys, call in. Let me know. But we've got a man like Kane with us today. Kane is a Newcastle fan. It's been Kirby right now. Press on your side saying you're going to sign him. Other journalists saying that no decision yet. Still waiting to hear from Sesko. How are you feeling, bro?
This is uncharted territory for me, I guess. We may actually sign. Well, I'm saying that this will be our third signing this season. So it's not gone terribly. Listen, it's still the same as what I spoke last time. I think we're still waiting on the player's decision. I think what Newcastle's done is the right thing right now, because we're changing the question to Sesko, I think, because with before the bid was coming in, it was, does he choose Man United or Newcastle? And I think if Newcastle, with this bid, if it gets accepted by Leipzig, it changes the conversation really from Manchester United or Newcastle to Newcastle and Leipzig, because I don't think, given that the price point it's at, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Man United, especially with the Rasmus news, are probably willing to go that high for one player. I think you've probably got bigger holes that you would need to fill rather than a striker. Now, that's not to say you couldn't or wouldn't. But I think that's Newcastle's play here. And the fact that we're doing it now means you don't have, I think when you're seeing things where, say, Man United are looking at offload Garnacho or something and Chelsea are interested, then say that deal went through, we were hanging around waiting for this decision and that sale goes through, then that makes it easier for Man United to make the offer to Leipzig. And I think that's what we're trying to cut off here. We're trying to get in early, try and get in quick, get the deal agreed with Leipzig, and try and push you guys out and then change the decision for Sesko. But, you know, I would say I am fairly confident. I would say it's 60-40, I think, in Newcastle's favor, because I think the player likes the Newcastle project from what I've seen in reports and stuff like that. And I think our sort of financial package to both him and Leipzig means that takes away one of the tools of Man United, which is the financial package you can do. Obviously, like the 40% I give to Manchester United is purely the Manchester United name, and that's how much I respect like the institution. Because I think if we were talking even a Spurs Newcastle situation here, I think this would be more 80-70. I think the only reason I give Man United a 40% chance, like I said, is purely because it's Manchester United, and it hurts me being a Newcastle fan, but and considering you ruined my childhood in the 90s.
Sorry.
It's all good, man. You've done it to plenty of other teams as well. But that's what I'm saying. The 40% I give purely to the Man United name. Yeah,
that's fair. I think yes, I do think financially, if it was just money for money and ignore the whole Rasmus situation, you guys could easily outbid us in terms of finance for the transfer fee and for the wages. So that is, I agree with you on that one. But in terms of you dealing with Leipzig, now they haven't accepted it. And
no,
I think if they accept it, I just think that's because Sesko's already picked you. So instead of it being you bid and then it comes down to Sesko, it literally is down to Sesko and your bid just get accepted straight away. So I think as soon as we know about Sesko, we'll know about your bid getting rejected or not by RB Leipzig.
Potentially.
I think. Where are we?
The flip side of that, the flip side of that though is, let's say Sesko says I like Man United as well, or I prefer Man United.
Yeah.
But Leipzig are also, again, it's tangential to like the Newcastle Liverpool situation, but like Leipzig are also in the business for Leipzig. They may want to respect Sesko's choice and say, oh, okay, he prefers Manchester United, but right now Newcastle are the only team right now who've put 80 million. Is it 80 million euros for 75 plus 5 on the table?
Yeah, that's.
And if Man United can't get up to it, that figure, then Leipzig might just turn around and go, well, I appreciate that this might be your preference, but we also have to look after ourselves here. So,
that's true.
But again, like you said, the player, they may turn around and do exactly as you said. The Sesko might turn around and go, no, I only want Man United, and then they might reject the offer there and then. I wonder if they haven't accepted or rejected it yet, because I think they might be seeing what Man United are prepared to do. Because obviously in Leipzig's ideal situation is we get a bidding war between the two.
Yeah.
Which is why I think we went to their valuation straight away, because we don't want that bidding. I don't think we've ever wanted a bidding war with any of the teams or any of the players we've gone for. And that's kind of where I'm at. But like you said, you're absolutely right. He might turn around and it is mainly in Sesko's hands, but you never know.
Yeah, that's true. And if Man United don't get this deal done, like you said, there are other areas that we can focus on. Our midfield is a big thing. Do we go for a new goalkeeper? So there are options for Man United in the case that we don't get him. But I don't know. Like Man United are a weird one. We don't normally go this far especially on the Ineos in deals. If we don't believe the player will pick us. So it's a fun time, man. It's a fun time. If you guys do sign him, I would say congratulations, fair play, and he'll be an excellent signing for you guys.
I will not. I will cry if he goes to you guys instead. No, Joy. It'll be a good player regardless.
That's fair, man. But in terms of Isak, is going to be back training with you guys. Your team's coming back from the tour. How you feeling about it right now? Like, are you on the lines of as soon as we get Sesko or a new striker in the door, like he's gone, or do you think you guys will still play hardball with Newcastle and Newcastle with Liverpool?
It's interesting. I would say I think I questioned the Liverpool bid going in yesterday without a replacement, especially at 110. I'm not sure what the objective of the offer was. People might say, "Oh, it's just the opening bid." Well, you've been saying 120. You've been saying you have all this money, and then if you wanted to just test the waters, then I guess you would have at least made a sort of these informal inquiries, like, "Hey, where you're at? What is the deal?" I don't know. I still feel like if we get Sesko or someone of Sesko's ability, because what I'm sick of hearing is people saying, "Oh, if Newcastle get a striker, aka like a Vissa, sorry, or like a Muniz, then that's Isak gone." Let's get this straight. Newcastle were already in the market for a striker because we had to replace Callum Wilson. Vissa, a Jackson, a Muniz, they are all Callum Wilson replacements. They are not Alexander Isak replacements. So if we were to get one of those three, I would say Newcastle may still play hardball. If we say a Sheshko comes in, or an Ollie Watkins, or a Samu Agbade or something from Porto, I think is. I can't remember.
Samu,
I don't want
yeah.
to butcher his name, but
I know he's
yeah,
Samu, yeah. Samu.
yeah. But if we get some like of that, like the next tier up, then I would say that would be more of. I would see that more of an Isak replacement, and then you would probably see Isak move to Liverpool. Again, that would also depend on Liverpool having to raise their price, because I still feel 110, 120 is too low. I think what Terry was saying yesterday, I disagreed personally, where he said, "Oh, 140 with 80 up front and 60 the next year is a good deal," because Newcastle aren't cash poor. Newcastle have all the cash. We have like this massive. We have Fort Knox behind us. We just have a teeny tiny lock and a teeny tiny key. So I would have rather a deal that looked more like 150, 200, but you spread those payments. Like I would take, say, like 30 the first year, and say like spread it. I would have a bigger lump sum spread out over a longer period of time, because we just need the PSR headroom. If we could put 150 to 200, I'm putting these numbers in. Like it's not. I don't think I'd ever get to 200, but like what I'm saying is, I would take a much bigger number and smaller terms payments over that period, rather than, like, we don't care about having a big cash lump sum up front, because, like I said, we are cash rich. It's just that PSR headroom we need. So, I mean, if we were to get a replacement of the Sheshko level and the Liverpool bid, even if it came up to 130, 140, I would probably see that as a Liverpool purchase going through.
Yeah.
Even with him come back to train, I think him come back to train is a minimum requirement, because we haven't got the replacement yet, so he still has. And I think this is where a lot of people have been really annoyed, is because this could have gone a lot better. He could have kept training. He could have done what he needed to do. And I still think this would have happened. It's just, but he has. It's horrible. What I would say to Liverpool fans, if he does go, is cherish him, enjoy him for the 2 or 3 years you may get out of him, because I don't know how long a contract he'll give. But I would worry that once a Barcelona or a Real, because remember, this guy's a La Liga fan, Barcelona in particular, and if Barcelona sort the shit out and Real Madrid sort the shit out, and they'll probably come for Isak, and you've already seen what he's going to do potentially. But I don't want to sound like sour grapes, but I'm just saying,
I
it's
hear
the
what you're
full
saying.
warning. I
Just
didn't think he would
warning,
do this. I didn't think he would do this. I thought he'd give us a year and then go to those teams himself. But the fact he's kicked up this much of a fuss is, it would worry me. But like I said, he'll play brilliant for Liverpool. He'll probably give them as much success as he can. But then I would say, don't get too attached.
No, that's fair. That's fair. A great conversation with you, mate. We'd love to have you on even more. So make sure you call in again, and I'm sure Terry will have some interesting words for you to say, because
I'm
you disagree
sure.
with him.
Well, let's hope I get him then. Then it doesn't matter what you do.
That is true. That is true. Thanks again, Kane. We appreciate you for coming on to the channel. Guys, we've come to the end of the show. I've got to dip. I've got some things to do before I go away for a couple of days. Yes, I will be off in the mountains of Wales, enjoying some time with my family. So before that, I've got some things to do. So guys, thank you so much for joining in this stream with me today. I had so much fun as per usual. Terry will be back. Don't worry about that. He is perfectly fine. He is just having his own time with his own friends, and family. Make sure you subscribe to the Football Terrace. We love your support. We love and appreciate you guys following us and being with us for the entire summer. We've got a big season ahead with all these transfers and all these signings coming together into the Premier League as we start that in 2 weeks' time. So the match reactions will be absolutely fire next season. So make sure you stick around for all of that. Top 6 and straight facts and more Dundee shows to come as well. So make sure you guys subscribe to keep a buck with that. Make sure you tell the bell notification on. Make sure your settings are on so that you guys know when we are live each and every day. And remember to like the video and also to share the video out for all your friends and family that have not seen this video. Make sure they've seen the stream. Until then, guys, enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the summer. It's getting live. 2 weeks to the Premier League. Let's flipping go. See you guys later.